A pleasant good afternoon, good evening, good morning from whatever part of the world you are. Let me say welcome. This is 2A Radio, Africa Actions Network Radio and Television, based in Pennsylvania, USA. And today is Friday, the 5th day of August, and the year remains 2022. Many prefer to say TGIF, thank God it's Friday. I always love to say TGIF, Tar Garnet is favor. And my name is Tar UB Garnet, and Reverend Tony Crowd is here with me. We are up Central Monrovia, the famous Ducos Palace Hotel. That is where we are currently. You can see from the view. And Reverend Crow has been one of those Liberians from the United States of America pushing for Liberians to have a visa waiver. That is for Liberians to be given a free chance to enter America at any point in time, given under the rights that were constituted in the 1824 Constitution. And so he joined us this afternoon, wherever you are. If this morning hour, let me say welcome. If it is a night hour, let me say welcome as well. But this is 2A Radio, and my name is Tara UB Garnet. So Reverend Tony Crowd, let me say a good afternoon from Liberia and welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
It's good to have you on again on Africa Actions Network.
I am so blessed to be here, and thank you again.
Okay, folks, everywhere you are, if you are following this broadcast, just do what this favor, just share the broadcast, follow as well, and make your comments. So, Reverend, let's move on. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. You enter Liberia carrying this advocacy of the Free Liberia movement, calling for Liberians to have a visa waiver to enter US at any point in time, like other countries are enjoying currently. How far now is this advocacy since your stay in Liberia?
Well, I traveled to Nimba County, to Ganta, Seklepie, Tapeta, Zia, and then I came back here. So on my journey, I was able to do interview at Radio Seklepie, which was broadcast at night and then in the morning again. And Radio Tapeta, Radio Lawe also hosted me in Tapeta. And during that time, I also had a chance to address the conference of the Tape Independent Baptist Churches in Tapeta, and I spoke at the Tape Baptist Church. And then I've had opportunities here since I returned to get on OK FM in Monrovia and Bana FM, Methodist FM, and Capital FM, and Truth FM. It's been overwhelming. The people, by and large, in Liberia welcome the idea that Liberians would, for the very first time, be allowed to go to the United States to access quality education, go to school, or work and do business, engage in business in the United States without visa restrictions. So a lot of people are happy about this. There were a few people who didn't really welcome the idea before I left the United States. A few people told me this was not a good idea because Liberia is a sovereign nation, and allowing all Liberians to have access to opportunities in the United States, the whole country will be empty. That's what they said. But I told them that's not true. Japan is not empty, and 125 million Japanese have access to United States without visa. Germany is not empty. South Korea is not empty. And in fact, I went to the United States for the first time myself in May of 1982. I didn't stay there. I returned to my country, and I was able to set up my own company here in my country. So if I can do it, if Japanese can do it, Liberians should definitely be given a chance. Also, Liberians should be given a chance because it's their inalienable rights. Is inalienable rights. It's also their constitutional right, which is still in force. And it's also based on the United States Declaration of Independence, of which 516 sovereign nations today enjoy those benefits without visa restrictions. So why not Liberians?
Why not Liberia? To grant Liberians visa waiver. How far are we now with that petition? It is my understanding that you are gearing up now to petition the Biden's administration and the Congress regarding this advocacy.
Retired representatives of Massachusetts. He has visited Liberia 3 times. He's been to villages where there's no electricity, people living in conditions unfit for human habitation. He's been around the length and breadth of Liberia in the interior and also here in Monrovia. He met with former Speaker Tyler, former President of the Senate, um, Watterson, etc. And he is the person who's going to be the lead for this petition. So we have a person to deliver the petition. We also a credible person. He has retired from the legislature, and they just named a street in his honor in Springfield, Massachusetts. He's a civil rights icon. They just named a new school in his honor. So he's a very reputable person. But in addition to him, I'm also part of the campaign. And our strategy is to reach out to collaborating organizations, churches, schools, mosques, social organizations in Liberia, because this is where the people of Liberia are. And all these organizations will be working with other, they'll each receive flyers about the campaign and brochures about the campaign and a copy of the petition itself. And then they'll be able to use this to reach out to their members. And all we are requesting for Liberians to do is to put their name and their identifying information. That could be a phone number. We don't have addresses in Liberia, but we also have voter card that people can use to identify themselves as a legitimate petitioner filing for Liberians to have a chance to enjoy all privileges enjoyed by citizens of the United States, consistent with the American Declaration of Independence and the Liberian Constitution. The 1824 Constitution of Liberia, Article 1 says all persons born in Liberia are entitled to all privileges enjoyed by citizens.
You always talk about this 1824 Constitution. There have been revised constitutions in Liberia. Are you also considering that?
Oh yes, this is a legal process. Not only are 516 sovereign nations in the United States allowed to access opportunities in the United States without visa, but there are 40 other countries under the visa waiver program. There are 57 countries that come to work temporarily. There are 5 territories controlled by the United States, and Liberia is the only country in the world that was established as a colony of the United States government by a law promulgated by the United States Congress. And that law did not just happen. There was first the American Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, all men are created equal. Then fast forward to March 26, 1790, when the Congress of the United States, dominated by corrupt slave masters and white supremacists, passed a new law that said only white persons could be citizens of the United States. That law was a crime against humanity. That law was also against the American Declaration of Independence, because during the American Revolutionary War, Black people fought on both sides of the conflict. And Black people were in America before there was the United States of America, as well as Native Americans. And therefore, what came into being as the United States of America cannot disenfranchise people who lived in America, who had contributions to the place that predates the American Declaration of Independence. And so fast forward to March 3, 1819, Congress, the United States Congress, passed a law that did 2 things. One, it authorized the United States Navy to create a colony in Africa. It appropriated $100,000 of American taxes to facilitate the creation of an American colony, which was created for 2 purposes. Number one, it was American domestic agenda and American foreign policy agenda. That was the only reason why Liberia was created. So Liberia was not created as a democracy. Liberia was not created as a place where all the people can live and have a democracy. It was created as a colony of the United States. And those who created the colony passed this law that says all persons born in Liberia were entitled to rights and privileges enjoyed by American citizens. But when Liberia declared independence, there was a new constitution, the 1847 Constitution.
And that's why I was coming.
And even that Constitution, 1847 Constitution, under miscellaneous, it also allowed the Constitution of the of 1824 to still remain in force. It says under miscellaneous, all provisions of the previous laws of Liberia during the Commonwealth of Liberia were still going to remain in force until they were abrogated or canceled by the legislature. It has not been canceled. Then we have the 1986 Constitution that was written. Again, the 1986 Constitution kept it was suspended during the coup d'etat and later on was abandoned, but all provisions of the previous constitutions were kept in place. Liberia still honored all its old obligations. The name Liberia was still there, and the constitutional provisions that were enshrined in the Constitution of 1824 and 1847 continued to be the case until it was canceled or abrogated by the legislature. It has not been.
You've been talking about the legislature.
Today, today we have millions of people going to access these opportunities in the United States, including education, business opportunities. And when Liberians go to the embassy, over 70% of Liberians are denied visa, earning the United States government millions of dollars. The United States embassy makes millions of dollars denying Liberian visa. But then when you look on the other side, all the top Liberian politicians have access to the United States in the ruling party, in the opposition, independent candidates. All of them have access to the United States. Some of them have American citizenship, some of them have American green card, and they have their wives and children living in the United States. So if other sovereign nations, citizens of other foreign nations are having this free visa, if Liberian politicians have access to the United States, why should Liberian citizens be deprived when Liberian citizens are the only one where we have this law written? These people are entitled to all privileges enjoyed by American citizens.
Stressing on entitlement, but yet still you are speaking of responsibilities that are shouldered by the legislature of Liberia. What is your own rapport? You talk about a congressman from America that will honestly submit said petition to the Biden's administration and that of Congress. But what is your own rapport? Have you met members of the legislature with the likes of the Speaker of the 54th legislature and that of the President pro tem?
Not only should these other people and the politicians enjoy these privileges that Liberians are entitled, we wrote a letter to the president of Liberia and sent by DHL from Boston, Massachusetts. We wrote the Speaker of the House and the President of the Senate. All of them have these letters. And in these letters, we requested public hearing into what we are talking about, our claim that every single Liberian is entitled to all these rights and privileges, which are the only requirement for sustainable development in Liberia.
All of these letters you've written, have you gotten redress?
We got only one response. We did not get a response from the president of Liberia. I have a copy of the president's letter. We did not get a response from the president pro tem of the Senate. We did get a response from the Speaker's office. And what they told us was that it's the prerogative of the Liberian legislature to hold public hearing and not us. We as private citizens cannot hold public hearings. And so at that point, we realized that Liberia is a corrupt country created by corrupt American officials. And it does not exist in the interest of the common Liberian citizen. And so therefore, we decided if the government officials are not interested in a public hearing in a matter that provides equal opportunities to all citizens, then we are going to go directly to the people themselves, because it's the vote of the people that has sustained the corrupt system in Liberia for 200 years. It's the vote of the people that turned warlords into lawmakers. And so the people's vote is supreme. And so we decided now is the time. Out of respect, we've gone to legislators, and now is the time to go to the Liberian people themselves. And again, like I said, before coming here, I was approached by two persons in the United States who are Liberians, who live in the United States, and told me, don't carry this petition forward. If it works, Liberia will be empty. That's their opinion. And then I came here to Liberia, and since I've been here, it's been overwhelming support. People have come and said they're going to petition. 3 persons have made financial contribution. In Nimba County, 2 persons, one contributed $10 US, and another contributed 1,000 Liberian dollars. In Grand Bassa, another person contributed $25 US towards the cost. And they have come out in their droves to say they are prepared to go to the American Embassy to present the petition once it has been signed. They are also prepared to contribute. Some of them said they don't have money. They want to contribute a chicken. Some people say they want to contribute rice, whatever they have. But they say Liberia is close to the United States, but the United States has ignored Liberia for far too long. And they are tired seeing their rights being trampled upon by the government of the United States and by Liberian politicians. And so across the length and breadth of this country, I have received rousing welcomes, and people are ready to bring their organizations, their schools, their universities on board to be part of this campaign, to make this dream of equal opportunities a reality for all Liberians.
Now, you said that you've written communications overly. The president has not responded because he says in the purview of the legislature, and now you are going back to the people because according to our constitution, Article 1 makes it clear that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are constituted by their free will. Now, and they are the petitioners. So have a petition been carved for these petitioners? And if so, how many signatories have you been able to solicit thus far?
So are you asking whether or not a petition has been written to the Liberian legislature?
As to whether those Liberians who are the petitioners, do you have a copy of the petition that they can affix their signatories already?
Oh,
and
yes,
if so, how many signatories have you been able to solicit thus far?
Okay, so at this point, we don't really have signatures to the petition itself. We have
Is it prepared?
Oh yes, it has been prepared. It's based on historical facts, legal facts, and everything else. And I can read that petition, to you. But we have over 2,000 persons in Liberia currently that have signed up to the petition, and they are ready and willing to sign. They are ready and willing to sign the petition. But the petition, the copy of the petition itself, they have not been able to affix their signature because it's online.
So how many signatories are you soliciting before you can carry on this petition?
Well, first thing we want to do is to get the country on board in terms of organizations, in terms of schools, collaborating organizations. We would like to get at least 60% of all organizations in Liberia to sign up to this petition, because it's from these organizations that the memberships will be able to sign. So we want to get at least the first round is to try to rally the organizations, the imams, the pastors, and the schools, and then after that, then we start with the signing of the petition. I would say we're looking for maybe 3 million votes, 3 million eligible voters.
Okay, 3 million eligible voters.
Yes.
Because I was about to ask the question once more, because we just needed a benchmark.
The benchmark is going to be 3 million eligible voters. Those are people who have sustained the system of governance in Liberia, but they have never benefited from it. They live in a country created by the United States of America. They have never been to America. Their country has been exploited by United States government and American companies like Firestone. They haven't had a chance to participate in the largesse of the United States of America. They desire an end to this colonization, and they desire to have access to all opportunities consistent with the American Declaration of Independence and the Liberian Constitution of 1824, Article 1, which says all persons born in Liberia are entitled. They want to see their entitlement come through.
Okay, then I asked you the question as we're about to conclude. We've already reached a point wherein you've been able to move around. You travel Nima, a lot of districts in Nima, clans and townships as well. You were able to solicit the consciousness of Liberians that are interested, organizations, Muslim
Yes.
Council,
Yes.
the Religious Council, I mean Christians, Muslims
Yes.
in totality. You've
Yes.
been speaking with them. So where are we currently and what is the next step forward?
The next step forward is an information session and training for volunteers. That is going to be happening tomorrow at 10 o'clock, between 10 and 12, at the Calvary Baptist Church, 17th Street, Tubman Boulevard, in the capital city, Monrovia, Liberia. And after that, we will start in earnest reaching out to the collaborating organizations in preparing them to carry on massive awareness across the length and breadth of Liberia about this opportunity. The only thing that Liberia needs to develop sustainably is not politicians. Politicians cannot develop Liberia at all because it's a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And when you have the people to be in a situation where they are in shackles of poverty, they are in shackles of illiteracy, they cannot develop the country. Then the country becomes like it is right now, relying on foreign governments to come and make donations for them to have their excessive salaries and benefits, relying on foreign companies to come and establish companies here. But when they come, they dig the gold and take it abroad. When they establish companies, they take the profit and take it abroad. We want sustainable development in Liberia, of Liberia, by Liberians, and for Liberia.
Okay, just before I leave you, this is a sustained advocacy, and it is cost intensive as well. I must admit, the challenges are many, they are real, and they are serious. How are you going about this? Traveling from one place to another, from the United States to Liberia, and traveling through the length and breadth of Liberia, establishing orientation workshops, seminars, and stuff like that. How have you been able to move about when it comes to your financial strength for this sustained advocacy as a term?
So this campaign did not start today. This campaign started over 30 years ago at the United States Embassy in Mamba Point. When I was working there as a technical support specialist for the Wine Computer Company, I discovered that the United States government has sent a classified cable to Monrovia ordering embassy staffers to deny every single Liberian visa. All the Black people will be denied, but visas will be given to foreigners, Lebanese and Indian business people. That was the beginning of the advocacy, because I saw a woman dragged from the window of the American embassy when she tried to get a visa and presented more evidence of her strong ties to this country. They told her to stop giving evidences, and they called security to drag her out so others can come. That was really horrific what I saw. And from that point on, we have embarked on a journey to first discover the facts and then to implement this provision of the law, American laws and Liberian laws, on behalf of Liberians. And I can tell you, God has sustained me for over 30 years in this endeavor. I have not actually been working. All I've done in the past 30 years was to lay aside my computer career and to focus on advocacy. How do I get money? God has provided for me for 30 years, just how He provided for the children of Israel for 40 years in the desert. The car I drive today was donated to me by somebody that I still don't even know, who said that he was moved by God to donate to the charity of a God-fearing person working for the children of God. The house I live in currently, I cannot even afford, but I won the house by a housing lottery in Boston. And so God has sustained my life. And when I see people like the gentleman in Saniquale, who have never seen me before, stepping up to say, I'm going to give $10 US in Liberia to support this campaign, and another person coming up to say, I'll donate 1,000 Liberian dollars, and another person who I have not seen. All of the 3 participants in the fundraising effort, I have never seen at all. And one of them just passed away to go to the great beyond. These people have ignited a movement, and they will sustain the movement. The people of Liberia themselves will be able to sustain this movement so that it moves forward and come to a successful conclusion. Equal opportunities for all Liberians that have been denied for 200 years by the United States government is going to be a thing of the past. All Liberians born in this country will now be allowed access to equal opportunities in terms of education, employment, and business opportunity without visa restriction. And the United States Embassy in Monrovia is going to refund every single penny they have collected from Liberians since 1990 up until now. They are going to refund every penny in millions of dollars.
Do you see
with
the possibility?
Interest. Oh yes, I know, because I can prove that what they've done is illegal. I can prove that. And with that decertification of the declassification, I'm sorry, with the declassification of the document that was sent here to suppress and oppress and discriminate against Liberians, against the laws of the United States, the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment calls for equal protection of all persons without regards to your race, your nationality, your religion, and that's what the United States Embassy did right here in Liberia. So they're going to refund those people's money, and they're going to stop collecting money. If you want to go to the United States, you're going to go to Robertsville instead of going to the embassy. You get your flight, go to America, go to school, go to work, do the development, take the money and bring it back here to build this country. And the government we have here will no longer be for the to enrich and empower politicians, because that's what we have right now. The government is going to be a government of the people, by the people themselves, and for the people.
Okay, government of the people, for the people, and by the people, Reverend Tony Cry. I have to leave you now on this exclusive interview. Just before I go, just in a minute, can you just inform Liberians what you expect of them, why you move about soliciting these signatories to amount to 3 million that you need to forward this petition to the U.S. Embassy?
I need everyone to get involved. I was born in a village, in the bush. There's no electricity in my town. No cell phone works there. Remote. But my father and his friends who didn't have formal education built the school, and they instilled in me self-sufficiency. They instilled in me the fear of God, that with God all things are possible. The Bible says, you have not because you ask not. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. For 200 years we have not asked. For 200 years we have not sought. For 200 years we have not knocked the door. We've been waiting for educated politicians to come from America to come and bring development. For 200 years they failed. Look at the situation in West Point. Look at the situation in Slipway. Politicians cannot develop a democratic country. It's the people. And God has already sent to us potential scientists, engineers, every day. They're born all over the countries, but without access to opportunity, they live and die in poverty. This day, the things will turn around for our people. And all I can say is the same word as Moses, let my people go.
Okay, folks, the voice of Reverend Tony Crad, founder of the Free Liberia movement, advocating for Liberians to have a visa waiver in the United States of America. They are now soliciting signatories to petition the Biden's administration and that of Congress in the not too distant future. For 2A Radio, my name is Etta Yubi Garnett. Many thanks for following this exclusive interview, and it has been a wonderful time in the nation's capital, Monrovia.
Thank you.